that weird 70s sitcom music that we started out with. How's your weekend been so far?
My week, I've been here since Monday, and I think I'm French now. I'm pretty sure.
I don't think that's how that works.
That doesn't happen. I don't think this could ever be French. I'm not cultured enough. But
you look like a fur trapper, if that makes... I say that. This is totally like some real glass houses shit here, but I look like the guy who made Elizabeth Smart disappear, so...
I'm not going to get that.
No, throwback.
Yeah. No, every time I come here, like, what happens is that in this town, which you guys know, they say bonjour before they say hello.
Yeah.
So when I walk into a store, like, I walked into a store the other day, and a lady was looking down, and she said bonjour, and then she looked up and looked at me, and she goes, oh, hello.
She knew right away. You said, I was with you, and you called, like, we saw a Chinese woman, and he goes, bonjour, and I'm like, settle down, Sean. Hello is fine.
It was like the cleaning lady at the hotel. I'm like, bonjour. She's like, what the fuck?
I don't know.
It was kind of crazy.
This happened to me I was here a couple years ago, and I had nothing to do during the day, and Super Sex was still around. I guess they closed that down, which I got really sad about, which everyone's like, don't be sad for, like, it's the Louvre or something.
That Super Sex closing is Dan's military coming home to their dog. That's what that is. That's what he gets sad about.
But I had nothing to do there today, so I went up there at like noon, and I went to the Super Sex, and I got a lap dance in the middle of the day, and then like after our shows later in the night, it was me, Michael Che, and Paul Verzi. We're like, oh, what should we do tonight? Oh, let's go to the strip club, and we start walking down the street, and they're like, let's go to this one, and it was Super Sex. I'm like, fuck, they're not, like, there's no, hopefully no one recognizes me from earlier. You don't want to be the, and then we get in there, and I swear to God, we enter into the room, and the stripper who gave me the lap dance turns to me and goes, Dan! And they gave me shit. Like I was a regular. Like it was Cheers, but for
I feel like that can't
crusty
be the only
sweatpants.
That can't be the only time that's happened.
No, not at all.
At least they're saying Dan and not get the fuck out of here. That'd be way worse.
He stole all our Doritos last time you were here. Well, I was thinking about the podcast. We started the podcast a couple years ago. When we started I'm Dan St. Germain.
Well, let's also do this really quickly. Yeah. Some of you might not be familiar with the podcast. Yeah. It's called My Dumb Friends. It's because we're friends and we're kind of dummies. But also, we have guests on.
Just in case you didn't know what the English language meant.
Yeah, right, exactly. But we have friends on that come on and talk about the dumbest shit they've ever done in their life.
Right.
So that's what we're going to be doing today, as well as our own bullshit in the beginning.
Right.
That's pretty much what it is. So go ahead, talk about
we explain that kind of angry.
Yeah.
Please understand what we're talking about. Before we do this, I need to connect to a human. And this is our producer, Tom Lewis.
Hello. Yeah, give it up for Tom, everybody.
Nipples have been conspicuously erect the whole time.
Very excited about the show.
What was that?
You look like a lonely... Why does he look like a lonely G.I. Joe?
You have it happens.
Your nipples are unnecessarily hard right now, and I don't understand.
You were talking about the strip club, so...
Yeah, you look like a female bodybuilder.
That's it, yeah.
That's what you remind me of. But anyway, we started this podcast a couple years ago. When we started, it was like 2012, and I had just gotten out of rehab. And
at that time, your statuses were so sad.
I didn't know that. Like, I brought it up, I'm like, I was with Sean, I'm like, oh my God, we just got out of I got out of rehab that time. And he brought up, he goes, yeah, dude, your Facebook statuses that whole year were the most depressing train wreck stat. I'm like, bullshit.
You ever write something you regret on Facebook?
Yeah.
He did that for 3 months straight.
And I was like, they weren't that bad. And then I went through these a week ago, and they're even worse than I thought.
Brutal.
Like,
they are so brutal. Wait till you see this guy who's not smiling at all.
Dude, they can't. He's doing crowd work for a podcast. He's not smiling. Yeah, they can hear him smiling if he was smiling.
My own ego, I can't take it.
But to do this, we're so excited to have him on the podcast.
Yes, our first guest.
He's going to help shit on these with us. I can't believe we got him. I'm super excited.
Yes, everybody, please welcome Jim Norton, everybody. You know who he is. Here he comes.
Thank you so much for doing this, Jim. I appreciate it.
Well, let him sit down and take the mic.
Johnny Cash
Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah.
Thank you for doing this, man.
No, I'm a hard guy to get. All you have to do is say, what are you doing?
You were actually in the conference room when we got here.
Someone asked me to come up.
How is your festival going so far?
I came in yesterday. It was okay.
This is cool, yeah.
I did one set last night. I'm trying to work out something for a gala, and it wasn't. I did too much like Trump material. It's very like U.S. centric, which the crowd let me know we're not interested.
I said that I did my set last night and I had Trump stuff up front, and then they're like, you can't do that. I'm like, but it's my opener, and they looked at me like, yeah, we don't give a shit. And I'm like, yeah, you're right.
A quick mention or two, or they get, but people haven't been following it as closely here. Nobody wants to hear about Ben Carson's diction.
Cool. So please help us really quickly. Shit on Dan.
Yeah, this is like actually
For all of his shit.
This is like seriously a night. Like this is seriously a nightmare. Like I went through these. And I swear to God, I wrote all these sincerely. This isn't like. So
this is like the street.
This first one, we want to start out with. I was volunteering for New York Cares, and I wrote volunteering at an after-school program for New York Cares, but all the kids don't want to hang out with me.
Oh, great! That's also Jared Fogel's post.
I remember the only one who hung out with me was a kid with a hip problem because he couldn't get away.
We started with the saddest one, everybody.
Yeah, and then there was a comment. Somebody wrote, "Don't take it personally," and then my sister wrote, "Take it personally."
That's family love right there.
All right, wait. So Tom, hold off for a second. All right, well, whatever. We already did it. Thanks a lot.
Okay.
Tom. Then I went through my real pretentious phase where I literally wrote a serious status update about both Occupy Wall Street and Malala, and it's one of I thought I was basically.
Fuck you! I'm gonna make you read the Malala one because it's so bad.
It's really bad. This is painful, but love Nicholas Kristof's article about Malala. I can't even say the last name. And you knew I had to check the spelling.
Yeah, you Googled the spelling of Malala.
She's the brave young 14-year-old girl who was shot by Taliban and sympathizers for advocating women's education rights in Pakistan.
Oh, sorry.
That's a joke.
Yeah.
Although our country pours money into the Pakistani defense budget. By the way, I'm just plagiarizing whatever I read in that article.
Easy, drunk Chomsky.
To help out Malala and other human rights groups fighting for education, you can go to Developments in Literacy and the Citizens Foundation to donate. And I didn't even put the donation links right there. No likes, by the way. Not one like.
Yeah. How did Dan manage to make Malala unlikable? How did you do that?
He's got like
You were
5,000
getting better. You were
followers.
trying to help people.
I think
That's good.
I think I was just kind of hitting on her for when she turned 18.
Well, wasn't she shot? Didn't she die?
There we go.
No, she's alive.
She's alive. That was the thing. Is she survived? I'm sure after she read this, she's like, "Can you shoot me again, please? You didn't do the job right."
Oh, we all get a little melodramatic. That's okay. It was nice. It was really helpful.
Oh my God! And then at the end of this one, I just wrote, "They make me proud to be an American." After Occupy, what the that's so painful that no one's even reacting, or they're just not reacting.
It's so funny that you were sober during these.
It made you proud to be an American, Occupy Wall Street. That's a nice sentiment.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Jim.
No, it's uncomfortable.
Yeah, uncomfortable. All right, so the next one, this is when I just wrote, "Man, slavery was really shitty. It was totally fucked up we did that." I went from trying to be really profound to just this is like a bro.
Like a bro that thinks he's really prolific.
Why? That's true. It's a statement. I mean, no one can argue with it.
Man, slavery was really shitty. Got to go play lacrosse right now.
It was all so fucked up, the Holocaust.
Did anyone thumbs down that sentiment?
Also, you guys do the next one. Just so you know, look at the juxtaposition between
who runs the show at Legion Bar on Saturday? I'm doing it and forget when it starts and forget who runs it.
So in a couple weeks, you went to Slavery is Horrible to Can I Get Booked on Your Bar Show in New York City? Oh my God.
That's a step above me just going outside on a street corner being like, "Hey, where do I go?" What can you do? And the next next one. Trying to find a fucking Bible in this city is the worst.
That's the angriest anybody's searched for a Bible.
Yeah, you like the preacher from Midnight Cowboy. A good, strong back, Joe Buck.
Is that the last one, Dan?
I think we had. Oh, this one is this. I have one more, which is I owe everything to other comics who've helped me out, which I tried to be nice. And
did anybody comment?
We have one comment for this, which was "fuck you" from Sean.
That's me. You instill confidence.
Yeah, really. And then Tom was giving me shit, but this is the kind of shit that Tom posts here. What is it?
Look,
This is Tom's dog. Who likes butter? Socks likes butter. Hashtag flowers. Hashtag Berkshires. Hashtag Pittsfield. Hashtag dog. Hashtag dogs of Instagram. Hashtag butter.
Hashtag shirt nipples.
That's horrifying, right?
I've been less offended by ISIS posts. That's horrible. Who likes dogs? Ladies, back me up, ladies.
She's cute.
Yeah, what do you do?
Oh my God.
That for me is scarier. That's like something is really wrong at home when you start, when you're a man in your 40s. How old are you, Tom?
It's like a Stepford wife trying to fix the problem.
I miss socks right now.
Oh my God.
What happened to socks?
Nothing.
Thank you.
He's fine. He's at his house.
Miss him.
Yeah.
He jumped in front of a fucking truck.
He read Dan's statuses and jumped into a truck.
Socks is a she, okay?
Oh, right, yeah.
All right.
We forgot about that. How about Jim? Have you ever been? Were you at your worst ever? Like, were you like so embarrassed of the shit you wrote? At people?
I went to rehab when I was 17. It was one of those kind of fake suicide attempts, and I wrote a poem in rehab. I really should have had my writing hand beaten with a hammer. I wrote a poem. I years later wrote a book, and I went over the poem and I corrected it, and I just really criticized myself now that I'm sober. What a douchebag I was.
Yeah.
So I wrote this melodramatic poem about alcohol.
Do you remember the title? Do you remember the title of the poem?
No, I didn't have a title. I left it anonymously somewhere, and everybody in the rehab was talking about the poem. I don't know who did it, and I would swell with pride. And then by the time I confessed that it was me who wrote it, nobody gave a shit anymore. They were all on to somebody, like some new guy came in and detoxed by screaming on top of a pool table. They didn't care about my poem anymore. I'm like, how about that poem? They're like, we're over it. Yeah, humiliating.
Oh my God.
When I was in rehab, there was a guy, because everyone would leave at different point, and everyone would make a speech, and then this kid who was like 23, he's like, all right guys, we're all gonna make it, we're gonna do it, we're gonna get through this. I don't know why I'm laughing. And we're like, yeah. He OD'd like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I don't know why. I guess I'm the only one who thought that was funny, but
You know what? Lemons to lemonade, he had 2 good weeks in there.
He almost did it.
that's something. That's what's going to say on his tombstone.
I drank in the rehab. I drank. My roommate Dwayne. I was 17 at the time, so we used to go out to these 12-step meetings. And my roommate snuck out and bought himself a pint of wine and me a half pint of vodka. And this guy Harvey, would go to meetings with us. He was a weird guy. He made me laugh, but he was psychotic. Like he would just go like, boing! Like he would make all these weird voices. He was a funny guy.
Was it Michael Winslow?
And we drank in the rehab, and they called us out on it, but I lied, so I didn't have to go to a long-term facility.
Yeah,
I
those
was
6-month
underage.
facilities.
Yeah, it was scary. That was scary.
But now you've been sober. How long? That's
29
amazing,
years,
dude.
Yeah, I mean, my whole adult life. So.
Well, at that point, it's just yeah, that's true. Yeah.
This already feels like an AA meeting.
Would you like to recite your poem for your anniversary?
Yeah, no, thank you. But it's just it is what it is.
This looks like an AA room meeting anyway.
It certainly does. It's got the same enthusiasm. Just scattered people wishing they were out drinking.
It feels like everybody relapsed the night before, and are like,
At this
fuck
point,
this
it's got to
shit.
be old hat to you. Like you feel like you want to drink or anything.
No,
like,
but you get comfortable, and
Yeah.
I'm never too comfortable. I just know that I have to be vigilant. But I'm very lucky. I see
Nice.
people that fuck up their whole careers, and I'm fortunate.
That's great. Yeah, that's awesome.
It's always good to carry a message. I mean, I think that's what's important.
I remember one day in rehab, they just brought us into a room and played James Taylor's "Fire and Rain" until we cried. They were trying to fear factor.
You make it sound like they locked you in the room and they just were like, you can't leave till you hear 4 of these.
Were you crying more about Suzanne or those fine machines on the ground? Gotcha. I hate to see a ruined machine. You know who told me about that song? A guy named Wayne. On the way to, he's dead now. He overdosed. He was on our way to a meeting. And he's like, he was smoking and he was fat and he was psychotic. He always had that white shit that manic depressives get in the corner of their mouth when they take medication. And he was like, this song's about his girlfriend Suzanne and she died going to see him. It's my whole story about Wayne. I've never told that before, and I certainly won't again.
It sucks too because you're not my thing is I'll say stuff about people in rehab, but I won't say 12 steps. If I'm in a meeting, but you want that's the one thing I want to talk about. Some of the shit I've seen in there so bad,
but you really can't.
I can't. Yeah, and it's the worst thing in the world because you're just presented with 3 premises every fucking AA meeting you go to, and you gotta shut the fuck up about it. You're like, ugh, all right.
You go back here's what I'm doing a bit about this, guys, and they just beat the shit out of you Private Pile and fucking Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah, no, I always I keep people's, I try not to. I want to sometimes, but you just can't.
You can't do it. One thing I'll say about me is that I was a timer at a 12, which is the weirdest job ever. So you've got
timer?
You have to time people to keep them from going over time in a share. So somebody would be like, so there I was on the Jersey State Turnpike selling my last toe for heroin, and then I'm like, end time. Come back next week.
Yeah, that's the way it should be. Fucking running and tell you stories faster, stupid. Yeah. No, my father would rape me. Well, I hope he's going to rape you all through this week because we can't hear it.
It'd be great instead of you saying time, you just played Oscar music.
Or Benny Hill music. Another fucking sad story. You know what I mean? And I tested positive.
Oh my God.
One thing too is you leave rehab and the shit that you think is funny there, you come out and you're like, yeah, and then it fucking turned out he died, and everyone's like, well, you fucking monster. Look at you, and you're like, no, it's funny, right?
Yeah, you get a sick sense of humor when you're in there.
Yeah, because you hear people saying such horrible things, and when you hear enough people say horrible things, it doesn't become surprising anymore. It's like
it desensitizes you.
Yeah. Totally. Everybody relates to it.
I remember one time we were at the rehab, and this girl, they drove this girl. Her mom, I guess, drove this girl in her 20s, and she didn't tell her it was a rehab.
Yeah.
And she got out of the car, and they didn't tell her. And she's like, okay, here's the rehab. She's like, fuck you, Mom! And then starts running. And then
my God.
we all cheered for her as she was running. All the people were like, go, run, Forrest, run! Do it! Get out of here!
All of us.
Yeah, get out of New Jersey, get to Pennsylvania!
And then you see her 2 days later, she's like McMurphy with the fucking scar on her.
And I remember the mom was like, I love you. And then we were like, Jen, that bitch doesn't understand you.
Oh, she threw a big sink through the window and thought she got away.
She's cheap.
Jim, thank you so much for doing this.
Am I getting the boot off this?
No, we want you to stay for the whole thing. If you want to talk more, we just wanted to also give you the opportunity to leave if you want. That's the saddest way on a date. I want you to stay, but please don't leave. Oh, awesome.
We have so little confidence. We're like, you probably want to leave right now.
I don't know. Have you this is just we asked this to a lot of people on the podcast, but have you have one significant bomb when you started out? Because I've only known you as a killer, because I started comedy, you were crushing, so, but when you started out, did you have any, because I remember when I started out, I tried to do a Mitch Hedberg basically rip-off, where I just, I wore a tweed coat and
Dan used to have puppets that he used on stage.
Yeah, I mean, it was just one nightmare after the next. And it's only marginally improved.
Yeah.
Just be honest.
Yeah, well, real quick, my worst bomb that I remember was when I was new. This guy, Bob Levy, who was a comic I really looked up to, was hosting at Rascal South, and he brought me on, and I wound up bombing horribly. And it was such a dramatic experience. I remember driving home crying, and I'm like, because my dream was ruined. And I'm like, I think the next night, I'm like, okay, fuck it, I'm going to go on stage and try it again. But then I think the first Desert Storm broke out. This is like 1990. And but I knew it would never hurt that bad again. I'm like, I bombed a lot worse, and I bombed at more critical times, but it's never been that bad.
That was that bad.
No.
But it stuck with you the longest. That was the moment that it stuck. What was yours? Mine was where I was 6 months in, and I was in the West Village, and I literally, this is how you know it's sad, where I'm bombing so bad and it's so quiet that you hear a guy say to his friend, he's not even heckling, he just says to his friend, he goes, "This guy's not very good."
I hear that every show I do, but it's just my internal monologue. Do you have other guests?
We have other guests. But if you'd like to hang out, we'd love to have you.
I always hang, Yes,
awesome.
I woke up early for this.
Hey, give Jim a round of applause.
Yeah, everybody give Jim a round of applause.
All right, bring up our next guest, Sean.
Let's bring up our next guest. You know her from 24. You guys know who she is. Please get up for Lynn Rajskub, everybody. Come on, Lynn.
Hello.
Lynn, thank you so much for doing this.
You want me to move down the
Jim
street?
Norton, everybody.
You want to switch with her? That's okay. Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
Thank you so
If you don't
much.
mind.
Thanks, Jim.
Don't leave.
No, he's going to switch with you. You're going to switch.
He's going to switch.
Lynn, thank you for doing
Me
this.
saying that made you want to.
Thank you so I feel like
That was it. That would be it. No, I'll stick around. Oh, Mary's here. Fuck this.
Yeah. It's like the old Carson days. Just move down.
How are you, Lynn?
Pretty good.
How was your festival going so far?
Hello. I've been here a whole week.
Whoa.
Yeah, I've been here
Yeah,
since
I was
Monday.
doing the pre-festival, so it was super quiet. So I had a lot of days where it was a lot of French speaking and me alone. I would go to that food court and just eat food and take pictures of myself surrounded by people not talking to me.
Some of the street performers, I'm like, it would be weirder if you weren't a pedophile. You know what I mean? Like,
The clowns here are like clowns from a nightmare. They're not even like a real
these bobblehead motherfuckers walking around like talking about global warming. I'm like, this isn't helping. I want more global warming now.
Yeah, right. There was a street guy, a street performer the other day. His whole act, I don't know if you guys saw this, it was him, it was a Barca lounger and a TV, and he was watching golf videos on a TV, and he just had a golf club watching it like he was watching it in his living room, and he's like, come on! But it was saying in French, like, Sacre-bleu! and everybody's walking by him, and they're like, what the fuck are you doing? It was kind of cool. It was kind of cool, but at the same time...
the David Lynch Macy Days Parade?
I have pushed away all of. I saw the weird baby in a. Did you see that?
Oh,
there was a weird baby in a fake baby.
I saw
I don't know what
a bubble girl on a ball that was rolling on the face. You saw her too? Yeah, that was kind of cool.
Did anybody see the guy who was pretending to be blind? That was his living improv.
The guy was pretending. How'd you know you were pretending?
What is that? What's the advantage of that besides you get to grab tits and go, oh, sorry.
That's a pretty good advantage.
It's a great advantage.
I don't even know why I would say that. I'm a lady. I'm a classy lady.
You're right, though. You're definitely right.
I don't do that. I'm concerned for the blind guy. I'm like disappointed when I feel like when I know it's a bit. I'm
You've been duped.
What a jerk.
Yeah. I pretend I'm deaf sometimes when I'm in a relationship.
You like trip and just start gently fingering someone. You're like, oh my God, I'm sorry.
That's too far.
Oh, jeez, how did this happen?
How'd you get creepier than all the acts in the fucking city?
I saw you in the elevator like a half an hour ago. I don't know. When I was gently fingering. No, I saw you and you were like, I don't know if I have anything crazy or and then I'm like, and then you just said a story and I'm like, yeah, that's fucking insane. Like, what? Of course, that's something you should talk about. Now there's a weird pop.
No, that's good to tell someone, hey, do that joke you do. That was very...
I did the Comics Unleashed Byron Allen thing. I'm like the white diabetic Byron Allen. I'm just fucking sweating blue cheese right now.
What was the story about?
It's just a thing. I mean, I'll get into it. It's something that happened that's not even really. It is it?
I mean,
here's the thing. I'm here doing comedy and.
Let's
start.
It sounds like you're about to say something really.
This sounds like the beginning of a therapy session.
This is my AA meeting.
Yeah.
I'm not good enough to have been in rehab like you gentlemen. I wish, but I think comedy is my rehab. But people recognize me from 24, and then like I have a one-woman show that I'm doing, and I'll say, I was on 24, and then people will be like, yay! because then I'll tell some terrible thing that happened. I went to the Golden Globes and I show a slide of me at the Golden Globes and everyone's like, a pretty girl in a dress, yay! And then I tell a story of like how shitty it was and how I sat at a table alone and I drank and I only got one ticket and then I ran into Sheryl Crow.
They give you tickets at the Golden Globes?
Yeah, like
they give you drink tickets? No, for a second, that's how you know I'll never be invited to the Golden Globes. I'm like, they give you drink tickets? That's awesome.
So you don't get a +1, so I got sat at a table by myself and just waited for everyone to show up, and then I look at the placards and they weren't even from the show I was on. It was like from the sitcom Ugly Betty, and not even they showed up.
Was it just the cast of What's Happening?
It's not even the show anymore.
You don't need to leave leg room for Mabel King. Sorry, too soon.
So I walked down to the bar because you could, and then Sheryl Crow was there, and I was like, oh, I know her, and then I realized I didn't know her, but I was already upon her, and then I yelled, I feel so all alone.
You didn't know her before that?
No, not at all.
The first thing you said to Sheryl Crow is, I feel so old.
Yeah.
What did she say? Every day is a winding road?
And then I said, all I want to do is have some fun. Let's do this. Yeah, so that's my comedy act is already, I feel like I'm bursting the bubble of things that people are excited about. And then on top of that, I talk about my husband being a rebound and how we got pregnant by accident, and then he, was like, it's me. Then we get to have that beautiful romantic conversation of just two people who barely know each other and decide to have a baby together. And I'm like, so I'm pregnant and I kind of want to have the baby. That's me. And then him like, could you take the test again? So yes, he really said that. And I feel like I'm getting more real in my comedy, right?
Yeah.
Like that's the best stuff. Like I am telling the truth, but also I just did a Canadian TV spot. This is my AA meeting, by the way. I'm just getting it all out. And my son just turned 8, and so like he gets it all. You know what I mean? Like he looked on my iPhone memos and he listened and he's like, Mom, you shouldn't say those words. I'm like, what'd you hear, buddy? Like, what did you hear? And I feel like I'm getting better at comedy, but I'm also maybe revealing stuff about my family.
You're ruining his life
I'm
as
ruining
you get
his
better.
life.
The more honest you get, the more
Lori
it fucks up.
Kilmartin did our show, and she's a writer on Conan. She's hilarious, and she brought her kid and had him wear headphones while she talked shit about his father, and then he goes, "Mommy, I can hear you," and she goes, "Turn the volume up." Like, she did not pause for a second.
Oh my God.
I had a slide in my show where, and this is just, as a comic, it's just a dumb side bit where it's like kind of a giggle, but I just say, we got married in Planet Hollywood, and we had a...
You got married in Planet Hollywood?
Yeah, very romantic. Very classy. When they closed that gauzy curtain between the casino and the chapel,
You're right. We couldn't spring for a hard rock.
Yeah, with Planet Hollywood. But our Catholic nanny was praying, and in my show I go, hopefully she was apologizing to Jesus for everything we've ever done. It's just a side, and then a picture of Jesus comes up, but he has raised, really pretty eyebrows, and I'm like, I'm sorry, Jesus, and it's just a dumb moment, but my son was like, why do you have a picture of Jesus in your comedy show? And I tried to explain to him, and I said to his face, I go, I know I'm perfect. I know I take care of you, and you look at me, and I do everything right. And I said, but my comedy character, she does everything wrong. I have to apologize for Jesus. I know that's hard for you to believe, but and then he's talking about the bad words and why would you say, then it was a side story about, he was like, I don't believe in religion, Mom. He's like, I'm not a churchy guy. I think church is a waste of time. I'm like, oh my God, what have I done to this kid? And then...
Now, was that after he listened to your stand-up?
I don't know. Sorry, I'm just throwing everything into the basket. So I'm explaining to him that the character I play, she fucks up all the time, but me, I'm awesome. So don't worry about it. And then he goes, but Mom, that's you. Like, you're writing your comedy. And I'm like, I know. So this whole weekend, I just call them by their names. You know, I don't bother making up a fake name for my son or whatever. Anyway, all that to say, now the story that I said to you out there, which is, it's whatever. It happened. This is a relationship.
This sounds like the beginning of a True Detective episode.
It's so funny. I thought that was the
there was a
story.
firefight.
It's just it's all of my things that I've done that I'm embarrassed of, probably relationships that I've thrown myself into, and they're just fucked up. So this guy that I was really into, we had been together for a while. I walked in on him. He was in our bed having sex with himself. A big black dildo. I know. That's the story that I said.
I know.
By the elevator. And I was like, I can't
Everyone's
say this.
just like,
yes, you have to say that. And I'm like,
they're just racist. They're like, black dildo.
yeah.
Gross.
Put it at least. But here's what I did. I opened the door, and then I was like, as if I'll leave you two alone. Never said anything.
How long did you guys date after that?
It was a while. We just never. I want to say it was another 8 months to a year. Knowing it and going around your everyday life and acting as if I never saw that. We're never. So that the thing about stuff like that is it's shocking, and you're not. But the real stuff that sucks is like that. Why would you do that without me? You know what I mean? It's not even the fact that it's happening. It's just like, oh, I didn't know.
I could be your black dildo.
I could be.
Did you find it in the dishwasher after?
Worst Cascade commercial.
That's the other thing. It's like, where's he keeping it? It's like his special friend, and it's like it's a violation of like, well, who's that? Where's he been all
What
this
position
time?
was he in when he was using it? Was he on his back or his hands and knees, or was he squatting?
It was a weird kind of half squat, like trying to be comfortable. I'm laying in bed, but I'm sort of squatting.
Oh yeah, I understand.
And it was
It's a good core workout.
He was using a squatty potty while he was doing it.
And the whole thing took
Never say
half a
potty
second
again.
for me to get that visual, and then just be like, okay, something's going on.
That's fucking.
Oh my god! And you guys dated after that? You were just like,
Yes.
you walked in, and then when he saw you later, he was like, "Hey, want to get some pizza?" Like how that's a big dildo in the room. So how do you deal with that after in a relationship? Like you just never mentioned it again.
We never mentioned it, and then it wasn't until I was in such denial about it. I think that's part of the story too. Is I act like I'm, outwardly like I get it, I'm evolved. But when stuff like that really happens, it's kind of a violation of an intimacy that wasn't really there.
It's also a different kind of violation as well.
Yeah.
All kinds of violations.
If I was him, that's all I would have talked about with you forever. So what'd you think? Pretty impressive, huh?
Jim would have just taken all the locks off the doors.
It would be like that poem in rehab. You would bring it up after the fact. I'm like, I get it. 2 weeks ago, Jim.
Well, it's funny when you hook up with someone. The first time a girl brought like a big vibrator in bed with me, I'm like, oh, that's kind of insulting. But now I love it. Now I'm like, oh god, I have to put in like a quarter of the work now. God, I can just sit there.
You get some help.
The whole story points at me, not our inability that we're not really talking about what's happening at all between us.
Yeah, he would have said to you before he did it. And
Yeah.
was like, hey, I'm going to do this. Would you have been like totally way cooler with it? Well, you were pretty cool with it anyway.
No, I would have said you're a maniac. You're an awful person. No, I mean, yeah, it's
But
true.
you think it was more. That's what's so funny about women. It's like it was so funny because you're more like it was the more him not telling you. But like I want you to tell me everything, and he didn't tell you. That's the more violation than just the jarring scene of him doing it. Right?
Yeah, I mean, it is tricky to bring stuff up. Like you said, you weren't sure about the vibrator, and then it.
And you were like, damn.
Turns great.
It's hard to ask your girlfriend to put a black dildo in your ass. And could you throw an Abdul-Jabbar jersey on? If you
Actually, one of the Dream Team jerseys.
Just not the Magic Johnson.
Oh man. Well, I think it's time to bring our third guest up, right?
Let's do it. Let's go for it. Yeah.
We're so excited about this guy. You know him from The Daily Show. Roy Wood Jr., everybody.
y'all, man. Good times.
Yeah.
Good to see you, buddy.
Yeah. Have you used any dildos on yourself lately or no?
I had a poke through when I wiped my ass once. I don't know if that counts.
That's adorable.
Baby steps.
That's pretty much the same thing her boyfriend went through.
I don't think that's a fetish yet, the poke through. Yeah, I like a finger up my ass, but only if I'm trying to wipe shit out of it. That's it.
I hate to correct you on your own podcast.
Jim would know.
How's your festival going, man? You having fun?
This is fun, man.
You went out to the party last night. Variety. What was the variety part? No, the Funny or Die party. How was that? You get loaded?
Drank more than I planned.
Yeah. You kind of have that cadence right now of somebody who did that.
Yeah, I don't have fucking drink till 5 a.m. bounce back.
I don't
Not anymore.
I don't have it in the morning.
I used to. Like now, I have to like schedule 3 days of recovery. Like Major League pitcher, I need 4 days off before I can throw again.
Yeah, you take yourself out of the game.
You do get tired.
What'd you say?
I said you do get tired about like.
Yeah, I'm 38, man. I get super tired.
Yeah.
I last until like last night. I was there for an hour and I left. And I was like, I just can't do it.
Like this is a beautiful city. I'm just like I'm old enough now to like the thing about Airbnb that I like is that you get to experience a city at like a regular citizen level.
Yeah.
Where like this hotel and food trucks, it's not like this every day in Montreal. I'll leave and go, oh, it was great. There's food trucks everywhere. And it's like, no.
I thought there was somebody singing Donna Summer every morning. I woke up and walked out. This happens every day, right?
It's like comedy Narnia. You just hear like, this is amazing. You come back, you go, where did it go?
Yeah, this city is literally dressed for its wedding day. Like, and I can't trust that. Like, I would rather be staying on an Airbnb in the edge of town somewhere.
Yeah.
Not murder, death, get killed. Like, I don't want to say in the hood, but I would like to really experience.
Like a regular spot. Like
I wonder if that's the real
You like putting
Montreal. Is what I'm
yourself.
saying. This
Yeah.
is like festival.
You told me that you like putting yourself in like weird, like really awkward situations. It feels like you're dangerous situations.
Yeah, because
Right?
stuff is a little more exciting that way. Yeah,
You're like, I want to feel I'm about to get murdered every minute of every day.
like, we did a show. If you want to talk about bad bombs,
Yeah.
I don't know if I can top Gems, but we used to do shows. I'm from Birmingham, and down south you get on stage wherever you can because it's not 12 comedy clubs with open mic. So every week you drive 4 hours to go do 5 minutes or whatever.
Yeah.
And we would do shows for dope boys. And like drug dealers down south, what they would do, like if the cops bust you and they took your weed and they took your coke and they took your money and you need startup money to get back in the game,
Yeah.
you hold a comedy show. Like, this is real shit.
That's great.
It's a brilliant strategy.
I think that's how Trump got started.
But no, like dope boys will like put on like a rap show or a comedy show, and you pre-sell the tickets. You take the pre-sale money, you buy a key, you take the kilo, you chop it up, you sell it, and by the time the show happens, you pay your talent from the money you made from the kilo you bought from the pre-sale.
Wow.
So your business is back rolling again.
Yeah, but that's illegal. How does that work on taxes?
You claim that.
But it only works if you sell the kilo before the show. And so we got there, and they hadn't sold the kilo yet.
It's almost like a Kickstarter, but way shittier.
Yeah, I think way better. And so we're doing a show for these dope boys and this dope boy audience, and it's like you already know you're not getting paid because they don't have your money. And it was like the hardest bomb, but I can't cuss the crowd out because those are his customers. Yeah. So, because like sometimes if you're bombing, you just want to just go full meltdown and just fuck you people, you don't know shit, you're stupid.
Yeah.
I just sit there and take it.
You had to apologize to them while you're up there.
And you didn't get paid.
Yeah, they
And you didn't get paid.
to their credit, they offered to pay us in pot. Yeah, they're like, yeah, if you want to fucking get a fucking quarter ounce or some shit. I'm like, yeah, get the fuck away.
It's like Scarface meets Punchline. Throw Bud Friedman out of a helicopter by his neck. You expect me to believe Omar was a hack because Sosa said so?
We ain't got your
Did cops
bread.
ever break this up? Any one of these shows up or no?
Nah, not that I know of. I mean, those guys are still going strong. I mean,
You think they're still doing it?
I mean, there's turnover within the
They're like the
organization.
Allman Brothers.
Yeah.
I'm sure some people got shot.
There's like generations.
Jail.
It goes generation after generation,
Yeah,
right?
next man up. Come on.
That's like speaking of that, you think it's the kids of the guys that did it back in the day, they're going to do it next?
Probably.
Yeah. Because that, even by the cellar in New York City, there's drug dealers that walk up and down McDougal Street and they ask if you want weed, coke, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And somebody told me like that's the son of the guy who used to do it a few years ago. It's like a family affair.
It's horrifying, man.
I remember I bought coke once in Washington Square Park, and I was about to go there, and I was talking to my friend Nick, and I'm like, all right, we're not gonna, let's go get this, let's get this blow. And then he's like, well, where are we meeting? I'm like, Washington Square Park, the least shady place to buy drugs. And then I'm like, don't worry, it'll be cool. He goes, yeah, I just don't want to draw attention to ourselves. I'm like, don't worry, it'll be cool. And we get to Washington Square Park, and the drug dealer is my friend Jesse. Oh fuck, we'll work on it. That's all right. He's clean now. But he's in the middle of this park in a Matrix leather jacket and leather gloves, like in the middle. Like he looks like just
Was he Michael Douglas in Black Rain?
like like what Michael Phelps was to swimming, he was to drug dealer. Like, he was the poster boy of that. You were telling me you almost got arrested.
Dude, there's been so many different weird moments in my life. Speaking to that point,
Yeah.
We went to this shady spot. So I went to college in Tallahassee at Florida A&M. And Tallahassee, they have a ghetto, but it's not as huge. It's like an 8-block radius called Frenchtown.
That's the worst ghetto name
No
I've ever heard in my life.
disrespect. And so I had roommates in college, and we were the first group of my circle of friends to live off campus. So all our friends who lived on campus, our house became social central. And so guys would go to Frenchtown and pick up hookers and bring them back to our house and bang them, and whoever wasn't there, your room just got fucked in. Like that's just what it was.
Jesus.
And so I come home from work at Golden Corral, and
Plug.
and I always had my watch and all my shit out on the dresser, and whoever's in my room, they stole my class ring. And so at the time, that's your main piece of jewelry. It's like a fucking $400 ring.
It's close to 75 pounds.
Yeah, so we ended up in Frenchtown, circling the block, looking for a stripper so that we could get my fucking class ring back. She just stripped. She wasn't a fucking... no woman is on the corner going, hey, baby, you just want fucking strip tea?
You want to fuck me and buy this class ring?
We circle the block 3 or 4 times, and we see her. We pop out the car. We walk up the block. It's 5 of us.
She's wearing the class ring.
No, she left it in another customer's asshole.
Baby, I ain't got that ring no more. Dude, and her fucking pimp comes up the block, and it's the coldest shit I've ever heard. This dude looked us dead in the face. He goes, young ones, I don't know what you came here looking for, but when I circle this block, I'ma sure give it to you. And he just drove off. I'm just like, let's fucking go, man.
Yeah.
Jeez.
You guys wait around. You're like, oh, he's bringing us the ring.
That's like a character in a Stephen King movie.
Yeah.
Hairs on the back of my, and I've had guns pulled on me before, but the legitimacy of, I'm going to kill you motherfuckers.
And you didn't tell him what you were there for? She stole my ring?
No, there's nothing to discuss.
Yeah.
This dude has just decided, I'm going to murder you in the time it takes to circle the block. So fuck it, let's.
It's so funny he gave you a heads up. He was like, I'll circle the block.
young. We're 18. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
You don't just roll up and murder 18-year-olds. Not with a 42-year-old pimp named Lucius. That's probably one of the scariest, that and ghost shit I told you guys about.
Yeah, I gotta hear about this because Dan told me the bullet points of the story.
Yeah, Sean told me, I'm nervous about these. I'm nervous people are going to have stories. And I told him this. He was like, oh, we'll be fine.
I believe in ghosts. So let's just start with that. I'm not here to creep you guys out or whatever. But when my dad died when I was 16. At the time, my parents didn't sleep in the same bedroom. My dad slept downstairs. He had like hip surgery, had a cane or whatever.
Yeah.
And in the mornings, I could always hear my dad walking across the floor, whatever. So after he died for like a fucking month and a half, I could still hear him getting up, getting ready for fucking work, which number one gives me fear of what the afterlife is like. Still gotta go to your fucking job. Like as soon as you die, yeah, you got a set tonight, Norton.
And then you're gonna die again.
So I met this lady. I didn't know she was a widow at the time, and we're going out or whatever. And eventually, I get over to her house, and I knew she had kids. And I see a picture of like her, this dude, and the two kids, and I see pictures of the dude all over the house. I'm like, who the fuck is this dude? Oh, he's dead, baby. That's my husband. He died 5 or 6 years ago. All that shit. And all right, fine. And we have sex. And while we're having sex, and I know I fucking heard this, I'm not crazy. While we're having sex, I just hear something like the faint voice just go, nigga, you fucking. Mid-stroke, there's a ghost talking to me. You ain't just trying to, I heard something, whatever. So the next morning we get up and we screw again in the morning, and then I hear, nigga, stop fucking up. And I just say, I'm like, I gotta go. And so as we're leaving, I go, what was your husband? I said, is your husband's name Keith? And she goes, yeah, who told you that? And I was like, I never talked to her again.
Oh my God. Why wouldn't you? Keith already knew.
Yeah, it was this creepy fucking cop blocking ghost.
It'd be great if you woke up and your class ring was on the nightstand.
Keith came back and he was like, with my blessing. Please have at her again.
Keith was jerking off in the corner. You never come back again. He's like, where did that guy go?
A different kind of pitter-patter.
I got heckled by a ghost during sex.
Or Keith finds like a ghost lady. He's like, I got him. Fuck me.
Nigga, you can fuck her again.
Find him like a chupacabra or some shit. Some other mystical thing. Well, guys, thank you so much for doing this.
Yes, give it up for our guests, everybody. Let them hear it.
Well, we usually close. We usually close every episode. Tom has had, by all accounts, a horrific life, and instead of like a
Actually, in keeping with the theme of ghosts, this is Tom's haunting realization.
This is Tom's haunting realization. Every week he tells us a story from his life, and it makes us grateful that we're not him. So thank you. He's a stay-at-home dad in the wilderness. So
he's going to tell you a story now.
Let's hit the music, guys.
Okay. So, it was a few years ago. My elderly neighbor burst into my house, which caused problems in the past. So
She just came into the
she just come into our house, and it's like I would be in various stages of undress sometimes or whatever. But she comes. Bob fell down. I need your help. Her husband, her elderly husband, Bob, fell down. You need to come over. You need to come over. So I go over to their house, and this is good.
Thanks for having a real moment.
Bob's like 90, okay? Old guy and about 250 pounds.
That's my size, by the way.
And he had fallen down in his shower. That's where he had fallen down. in a shower, and he's in there kind of mowing. And I realized, if I didn't help him, if the fire department came, they would cut a hole in the wall to get him out. Like it would have destroyed their house. To get him out. So I go, okay. And when you're 90, it's balls everywhere. I mean, just, I will never wear boxers again. You got to keep it. I mean, it was just, what is that?
So, like the monster from Cloverfield.
Yeah, it was just, it was just, they're low. And
so he's in the shower.
He's lying there. And what happens to your body at that? I mean, it was a whole revelation of that. And so I get over him to pick him up. He's like slick with soap and everything.
Now it's getting hot. The story's getting hot.
Sorry. My nipples again.
So erect, Tom. I've never seen him erect before this. For a big Montreal show, he brings out the big guns.
It's like a Ken doll.
Yeah.
He had a back injury. That's why he was down in there, and they had one of these stool things to sit on in there, and that's what he had fallen off of. So I I'm picking him up, and he's like, kind of clawing at me, and I think we both farted, this squeak, and he's like sliding out. So I do like one last push to get him up on the stool, and my back went out.
Just when you don't think you get any sadder.
And I'm like, this is some circle of life. They're like, you get to this, your back goes out, then you fall in the shower, and someone has to help you in there. It's like just, and I'm, because the shower was still going. It was terrible. So.
And you're clothed at this point.
Yeah. And
clothed in wet is never a good look.
Bob's dead now, so I have that to look forward to.
This is true. Like last night before we shared a room last night because we're a big deal, so we get separate rooms at this festival. And there was a moment we were both like, I wish we had a clue because I was talking about I'm going through shit with my family, and I was like, there was just a pause, and then I just go, I love you, Tom. And he goes, I love you too. I was like, I wish we could end that.
Where's Keith when you need him? No, I host the UFC's podcast, UFC Unfiltered. It's out twice a week, and if you want to hear it, you can find it.
Marilyn?
I don't have a plug. I'm going to Edinburgh this Sunday.
No.
I'm in Scotland.
Oh, shit.
During
That's
August. Dope. Yeah, I'm excited.
Right.
Watch the Daily Show, please.
Yes.
That's it.
And ours are a regular one. I'm at Shawnee Time on Twitter, and I have a website. I have an album out called Manual Labor Face.
Yeah.
That all of you can get too if you'd like to.
Yeah, that's right.
It's on iTunes. And Dan, what do you want to say? Anything?
At DS Germain and watch Not Safe with Nikki Glazer. I read on that, so check it out.
And if you guys enjoyed today, please look up our podcast online. It's so much fun. We have tons of episodes, and we really appreciate you guys coming out.
Thank
Give
you.
yourselves a round of applause for coming out, you guys. Yes.
Thank you, Just for Laughs.
Thank you,
Tom is at Tom Dog.
Yeah.
He runs our Twitter for the podcast is at Dumb Friends Cast. You can just search it and you'll find it.
You can just send food and blankets to
Thank you.
And I think it's amazing that we all actually believed when Roy goes, well, no, there was a hooker in my room, but my friend fucked her.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you for listening to the My Dumb Friends podcast. Thank you to everybody who came out to our show in Montreal, and especially everybody who retweeted our tweets about our show in Montreal and shared our Facebook page and told their friends. You guys are the ones that helped fill up our room and made our show such a great one of the best podcasts at the festival, we were told. Also, thank you to Just for Laughs for giving us the opportunity to perform our podcast live at the most amazing comedy festival in the world. Thank you also to our donors, Michael Murphy, Chester Harton, Michael Morock. Thank you for donating via our safe and secure PayPal link at mydumbfriendspodcast.tumblr.com. You made our show possible as well. Here's where you can see our host performing live this week. Sean Donnelly is performing in and around New York City. You can keep up with him at Shawnee Time on Twitter. You can also go to SeanDonnellyComedy.com and get his album there. Dan St. Germain is performing in and around Los Angeles before his upcoming trip to Scottsdale, Arizona, where he will be at Stand Up Scottsdale the 18th through the 20th of August. But in the meantime, he's all over Los Angeles. Go to danstgermain.net and check out his schedule. And we will be back next week with another great podcast. Thank you, everybody, again for your support. And it was a huge privilege to go up to Montreal and be a part of the show with Dan and Sean. And I would like to thank them for giving me that opportunity. So, hey, we'll be back next week. Thanks again. Bye-bye. For other cool comedy podcasts, go to allthingscomedy.com. Yes, we're a part of the All Things Comedy Network. We're one of many great comedy podcasts. That's allthingscomedy.com.
What we're going to work on next week.
Our opening and closing song is called Mary the Boxer by Phil Pickens. You can find out more about Phil at philpickens.com.
Don't know